Hi, Java programmers. This is a surprise, I'm sure, but since we're having to miss a class, I thought that I would put a lesson on a tutorial so that you could watch it at home, kind of DL. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to show you what the format needs to be for your derived classes. What I have here is the Enigma class. Enigma implements Enigma interface, int key, message, coded message. Here's my constructor, my encode and my decode. And here are the six, there they are. The six methods from the interface that I'm overriding. I'm going to put this out before your Enigma programs do, so I'm not going to show you all my code, but I know you know how to do it. So this is where we start with the Enigma class. Now the example I'm going to give you is with the prime shift Enigma, so I'm going to right click on the package, new Java class, and it's going to be called prime shift. Okay, there it is. And if I'm clever, I can split this. There we go. So now we have, no, I don't want two of those. All right, never mind. We'll just open prime shift. So we know that prime shift extends Enigma. And we also know that because it extends Enigma, inherits from it, that is, that it also inherits the interfaces, and we are going to need to implement them. And I'll talk about that later. So first I'm going to put in some private local variables. I'm going to have local coded message. Oh, I wanted that to be capitalized. Sorry, you have to watch me type on this one. Private int local key equals 1. Well, I'll do that in the constructor. And what goes into our constructor or instructor? Public prime shift. And we're going to call the super. And I'm going to say local coded message equals blank, semicolon. Oh, jeez. And local key equals 1. Okay, so there's my constructor. Now, I'm going to have my encode and decode methods. Those will override the methods in the Enigma class, and we're just going to write them. So I'm going to write your code goes here. And then we have the decode method. There. So we have both of them. You may have other private helper methods. And you may write other methods to help you perform the encoding and decoding, because we have to do a lot of prime stuff. You may have other variables. You may include an array of primes up here. So, and any other local variables you need. Okay, those are up to you. And now we have to do the interface methods. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to copy those interface methods. Well, let's see, I'll copy these three. And then I'll go back and copy the others. One. There's our set message. Here's our other set message. And here's our set coded message. Okay, so NetBeans is irritated. These aren't really methods yet. So I'm going to put in some curly braces just to get rid of the red because it's so annoying. These can stay except there is no coded message. So what's this going to be called? It's going to be local coded message. This one we don't actually need because we never deal with message in a subclass. The only class that deals with the message is the Enigma class. And since it's public, we already inherit it. So we don't have to re-implement it. We own it. We own it from the Enigma class. And here, these refer to our local variables. If we kept the old methods, well, you can see in this class, they weren't going to work. So what does our set message look like? First, the set message is actually going to be the set message has to go to the Enigma class first. Remember, it's two-step encoding. So we're going to send it to the Enigma class, and then we'll get coded message back and do our second step of encoding in the derived class or the subclass. So how do we call that? Super dot set message, and we're going to pass it M, which was what passed to us, right? So Enigma will get this set message, and Enigma will get it here, whoops, here. It'll generate a random key and call its own encode, okay? So what do we do then? We now need to get the coded message. So we're going to say local coded message is equal to super dot get coded message. If we called the regular get coded message, we would get the coded message from this class. We want the coded message from Enigma. So now we have a coded message to work with, and we also need the key. So local key equals super dot get key. Okay, so now we have everything we need, and all we need to do is encode. We call our own encode method, which will give us local coded message, but when we call get coded message, that's the one it will return. Now for our set message with M and K, message and key, we're going to do something similar. Super dot set message, whoops. Let's just let NetBeans do that for us. So we are going to set message with both the message and the key. As you recall, Enigma checks to make sure the key is in range, so we don't have to bother to do that. We'll let Enigma do it. And once again, we're going to get the local coded message. We're going to get from getting the coded message from Enigma. We'll get the key from Enigma and assign it into local key and call encode. Set coded message will be just a little bit different, because what do we do in set coded message? We're decoding. So what method decodes first? Prime shift will decode first and then send the coded message to Enigma. So we're going to say local coded message is equal to M. Local key is equal to K, because those are what's passed in. Even if it's M and K, this could be CM for coded message, but it's a string coming in. So we're going to now decode. Well, or eCode. That's a new kind of coding. There we go. And finally, we need to send it to Enigma to do the final decoding. So we will say super dot set coded message. And what are we going to send? We're going to send local coded message, because we just spent a lot of time decoding it. And you can send local key or key. It doesn't really matter because it doesn't change. Okay, so that's it. That is how we're going to take care of our subclasses. All of the subclasses will have the same form. The only thing that will be different will be the encode and the decode. And also, if you have other variables or other private helper methods that you need to get the encoding and decoding done. All right, I hope that makes sense to you, because you have 3 subclasses to write, and all the code for doing the polymorphism is in your spec, so you should be able to get that from there. As usual, if you have any questions at all, please email me. I'll be looking over my email at least once a day over the weekend and over the 4th of July and the day after, since we won't be with each other until next Thursday. So have a lovely 4th, a good weekend, and good luck on your coding.